Hello. I hope you're all having a lovely sunny Saturday. I don't know if anyone's there yet. I hope so. I think some of you will probably watch this one on catch up because you'll all be busy. Oh, I just realised I've got a chicken above my head. That's very appropriate, isn't it? It's a great big single slipper that my grandson gave me and I popped it up there the other day. Hello, I've got someone there. Who's that? Who's come to see me on a nice sunny Saturday? And thank you very much. Oh, got two of you. Oh, we've got Emma. That's nice. I've got Claire. Thank you very much. Oh, we've got a few more. Michael. Hello, Emily. Nice to see you again. And what do you need today? You need cardboard, piece of foil, some string, some glue, and possibly a cotton bud and a tea towel. Oh, hi, John. Nice to see you there. I'm guessing you're with the children. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Nice to see you anyway. Thank you. And in a minute we're going to start. Now normally I stand up and do this up at my flip chart, but today because I'm doing something fiddly I'm going to do it in front of me on the table, so I'm going to put you into a hoist over the table to watch today, and you'll be able to see me in a mirror, so it's all going to be a little bit different, but it's just going to be easier for what we're doing. Hello Anita, hello Pamela. Oh, my fan club's here, this is great. Please like me on Facebook on Art Jeanni. And also please like me on Facebook, Art at the Beach. And also if you are enjoying these free lessons, it would be lovely if you'd put something on my TripAdvisor, which is Art at the Beach, Newquay. So it's very simple, but that would be great because it gets me work in the future. And these are just free and for fun, but at the same time, it's a nice thing that you could do as well. So somebody has missed what you needed. It's tin foil, so kitchen foil. You need a piece of cardboard, a piece of cardboard, some kitchen foil, some glue, a cotton bud maybe, or a paintbrush or a pencil or something to press with, and string. That's the other thing you need. Sorry. That's fantastic. So thank you. And we're going to stick you all up in the hoist now for a minute, and then I'm going to show you things there. Oh, thank you, Pamela. That's good. She's already put something on Facebook for me. So anything you can put up that's something nice on the Facebook pages or on my TripAdvisor is really helpful. Yes, again, you can see my giant cup of tea. Now that's me in the mirror you're seeing today. So there you go. This is a bit different. You can see my light box that I'm always turning around. And that's the point. I should probably turn it on, but I think you can maybe see enough. Let me just turn that on. So I hope you're all enjoying the sunshine. And also, if you've never heard of it, there's something called House Party. And just now, oh no, that's going to cause a stutter to you on the screen. Just now, I was playing games with my children and my grandson on House Party, so that was good fun. So even though we're at home alone and things, we can still do some fun things. Now, if I turn this one on, that might work better. Let's try that. Right, good. I think you can see now. Right, can somebody tell me, can you actually see down here at my hands, or are all the messages getting in your way? Maybe if somebody could just let me know, because I'm trial and error today, because I'm not doing it the way I normally do it. So, is that good? You can see my hands. Good. Okay. Just while we're waiting a couple of minutes to start, because we'll start officially at past as always. This is about my normal work. So as much as today we're doing some little fun arty crafty things that all the family can do. Years ago I was a teacher in private and state schools in Britain and Australia, and I devised a completely unique way of teaching art, which means that people learn very fast. And they learn with total competence, and very quickly they don't need me anymore. So it's not like you have to come to me for a million years for lessons. Usually 9 to 15 hours and you've got most of the basics, and then I'll help you for free with little bits and bobs if you need little bits of help with what we've already done. This, for example, was the progress of a 10-year-old girl in 3 hours, not copying, but actually understanding what I would say was the grammar, spelling and punctuation of art. 3 hours on perspective here, which even architects have said they couldn't believe what they learnt, and 3 hours on paint and colour here. After that, this picture here, let me just get it right, was done by a 90-year-old stroke victim after only 5 3-hour lessons. This was done by a 50-year-old German lady. I'm trying to see if you can see it, after only 4 lessons, and this by a 40-year-old Sri Lankan man after only 3 3-hour lessons. So the rate of learning is very, very fast. So if you'd like any of those lessons, I'm probably going to set up a group Zoom lesson for next week to start doing that, because I've had a few inquiries, and the price will be slightly lower than it is normally because I can have a bigger group of you. So, and also because it would be me trying out doing a big lesson on Zoom. So that's that. This picture here was done by my 13-year-old boy. I've shown you some of his work before, but this is doing distance teaching. He's in London, I'm down here, so he did that of his pet dog with me teaching long distance. And I was going to print it out, but unfortunately my printer gave up. My son and I, he's an international juggler in Australia, we're also doing birthday parties through Zoom, where I do the entertainment in terms of doing craft or art things with the group of children or adults, and he's doing juggling skills with them and a little bit of a juggling act. And he's coming in from Sydney, Australia, and I'm coming in here from in Cornwall, and we're doing it together. And we did one the other day, I think, with about 30 children watching. So that was great. We could see all the children, they could see us, and they could see all their friends. Right, so I'm just going to move this up again a bit just so you can see me a little bit better. Get rid of that. And you'll see me in a mirror, so if I look a bit odd, that's why. So what you need today, we'll get started now, is a piece of cardboard. Now I've just ripped this off a package, so it's nothing special. It's just any old bit of cardboard. And I'm going to cut it into a square. I've got somebody... Oh, Hillary's there. Hello, Hillary. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for your help. I'm not allowed to say who Hillary is, but if you ever come across her and her capacity of work, she is a miracle worker. She is amazing. So I have lots to thank Hillary for. Now, here's your piece of cardboard. So I'm doing it here nice and close so you can see. And onto this, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to draw myself a little design. So if I hold it up like this against the mirror, you'll be able to see it better. Now, I thought I might do a J for Jeanni, but I'm guessing I'm going to have to do that backwards, so maybe I won't. I'm going to draw a leaf, maybe. So I could draw a leaf like this, just lightly. And maybe I could draw myself a little flower over here or something as well. So really what you draw for this is totally and utterly up to you. I'm going to put that flower over the leaf there, and I'm going to give my flower a little middle. So I've just done something really simple. I suggest today that maybe you watch first and then do this later. So your first process is get a piece of cardboard, draw a really simple design on it. Don't make the cardboard too big. Even this one's probably a bit big. This one's about, well look, it's about a hand and a half, so maybe a hand wide, a hand and a half wide. Don't go too big too soon. What I'm then going to do is get some string. Now this could be twine from the garden, this could be string from your house. If need be, it could be wool or something, but it's better if it's a bit harder and a bit thicker is good. And you could use other household items. You could get quite clever, I suppose. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some glue. Now, I found this in my cupboard and it's a bit old and a bit sticky, but it will do. I've also got glue sticks. You could use that. Basically any sort of glue. And I suppose at worst you could make up a kind of glue out of flour and water or something like I used to when I was a child. So that's giving away my age a bit. And I want to be able to see through this glue to my picture, which is clearly not going to be so simple with this glue because it's very, very thick. But I'm going to put the glue down, and if you don't mind, I'm now going to be gross and disgusting and move it a bit with my finger so I can see through to my picture. Now, you might not be able to see it very clearly, but I can now see through to those lines that I drew. And what I'm now going to do is start near to the flower, and I'm going to put the string down on top of my lines. So I'm carefully putting the string down on top of my lines for the leaf, and when I get to the top I'm going to hold it in place with my nail, and then I'm going to come down the other side of my line, and that's going to be a bit long, so I'm actually going to snip that off right by the edge of where my flower came into it. So I think I need a better pair of scissors. There you go. Right, I'm just going to put that piece of string back now, so it's right on top of the line. And now I'm going to put the string down that central line of my leaf there. So I'm going to start up there, and I'm going to come down the middle of my leaf like that and stick it down, and then chop off anything extra. You could measure it all first if you wanted to and have all your bits ready, and then you could just lay them into place. That would be the other way around of doing it. So there's my next piece of string, and I've now stuck that one down. Now I know I've got one lovely lady out there who watches me every day, and she's magic, and there's a number of you actually, so thank you all very much. But this time I'm going to cut the string first. I think that might be a bit easier. I must admit it's been a while since I've done things like this, because these are kind of classes I used to do when I was in a classroom teaching. I'm going to stick that in there as one of the veins on my leaf. I think I'm going to cut the next one. This seems a less messy way of doing it. And stick the next one in. So there goes the next vein of my leaf there. And I'm putting it down by the middle, so we've got the lines coming out for my leaf like that. I'm going to put another couple in. So these are the bottom ones going in. Anyway, her name's Pamela, and she's got the most incredible garden. And when she comes to Cornwall on holiday and she does art lessons with me, we paint her garden, and she has the most spectacular garden I think I've ever seen. And so I think all year long all she must be doing is getting seeds and things ready for her garden, but it's the most beautiful garden she has. Maybe she might even put some pictures of her garden up and some ideas for you guys for maybe some pictures like this. Maybe she could put some up on this page in the comments, and then we can all see some ideas of a garden. Okay, so I've done that. Now I could keep adding pieces of string in, and I could actually spiral pieces of string into those spaces. I need to make sure all of this is stuck down, so I'm just going to stick my finger underneath. Now I suggest you put newspaper or something on the table before you do this. I'm now going to put the glue down for my flower. So again, this glue is very, very thick. Those stick ones would probably work just as well and not be quite so messy. But there we go. I can still see through to the flower I drew before. So I've now covered that area. And I'm now going to put the string on for the flower. So I'm going to start going around each petal like this, and stick my string down, and then instead of cutting it this time, I'm going to hold it in place with my finger and just move up and go round the next petal. This is getting seriously messy. I think this has to go down as the messiest lesson I've done so far. Although I've got to say messy is good, and I did warn you I was going to do slightly more fiddly things these few days, because I'm guessing a lot of you are going to be at home as a family, and so there might be some other adults or bigger brothers and sisters and things to help if we've got anybody little trying to do this on their own. So there we go, and round we go again. And I'm going right the way around the petals of my flower. You can see me going round like this. And if I'm going out of shot a bit, I'm sorry, it's because I'm trying to let you see, and I'm covering my own view a bit. So there we go. And I've come all the way back to the middle, and I've got my 5 petals. So I could even go round again if I wanted to, but I'm going to go straight up to the middle of my flower. And I'm going to stick the circle for the middle of my flower in like this, and this time I'm going to spiral it all the way in. Okay, also if you're interested in the other lessons that I do, I've done them with companies like UK Sport, the Discovery Channel, the neuroscientists at Oxford University. It's a lot of learning, but it actually makes you realise a lot of things about why we believe we're good and bad at things. So please don't think that if you do the other art lessons with me that you're going to be gluing string down. That isn't what it's about. These are just ideas for a bit of fun for people to do at home. Now I'm spiraling that string in. Now my string's a bit fluffy and a bit hairy, but never mind, it will all be okay. So if you had like plastic twine from a gardening thing, it might be easier. Now I've got to get this all stuck down, and so I've got my leaf, I've got my flower, and I could carry on putting more and more string inside each one if I wanted to. But I'm going to give this a stalk. Now I'm not quite sure where the stalk of my strange flower would go, but let's pretend it would go here. So that's going to be my stalk, and I'm going to cut that off now. And then, there we go. Oops, and the stalk's moved, but we don't need to worry about that. We just got to stick it back on the glue. So we've now got our flower and a leaf and a stalk. I'm just going to make this a bit prettier by putting a bit more glue right round the edge this time. And this is just a bit of cereal packet, anything you like that. This is not special string, this is not special cardboard, it's just anything you can find around. All the lessons, for anyone new today, all the lessons are basically just household things that you'd have. The only thing today is we're using glue. I hope you've all got some glue. At worst, you could make little scrolls of sellotape and use that. But I think most people have at least one of these sort of glue sticks at home or something. If you don't, I apologise. But I just thought this was a fun thing to know about. Now I'm going to put the string on the side. Also today, unlike usually, I can't see if you're making comments at the moment. So please do, and I will read back over them all at the end and answer you if need be. But it's because I'm trying to do it nearer to the camera. It's harder for me to see because I've got my hands in the way of the mirror, so I can't see your words. Now I'm going all the way around the edge with my string like this and sticking it down, and I think I'm going to go round again, so I'm actually going to lay inside that again like this. So I'm getting a double line round the edge now, and I'm kind of spiraling my way in, and I'm just going to tuck that bit there behind that leaf, that petal rather, and then here again. And you can make these as elaborate as you want. You could stick maybe some buttons or something on here as well. Now I've gone around twice. I'm going to stop. You could keep fiddling around with string and bits and bobs as much as you like. And we've got that. So we've got string stuck on the page. On the piece of cardboard, I drew it first just so I knew where I was going to put my string. If you want to freehand it and just make it up as you go along, you can do that too. But there's our piece of cardboard, and it's just a packet, something that came to me last week, I think, and string. Okay, now if you've got an old cloth, this works quite well to lay it on an old cloth. I've got a tea towel here. So I'm just going to put a tea towel down on my table. I'm going to put the glue lid back on because you don't want to ruin the rest of that glue. And I'm actually now going to lay my, let me change the angle a bit so you can see better. Right, I hope you can see it now. Oops, there you go. I'm going to lay that on the tea towel. There. Now I'm going to take my piece of foil and a cotton bud. So I've got a cotton bud. You could do this with your finger, you could do it with like a makeup wipe, like one of these, you could do all sorts of things. So don't give up, you can actually do it with an old paintbrush. I wouldn't use a good one. Put the silver side of your paper up, not the duller side, and lay it across what you've just done. And then just gently press it down, and you can use your fingers to begin with, And after a little while you'll start seeing the shapes of the string starting to press up through the foil. Now if you look now, with any luck you can start seeing our embossing coming up. Now if I bring you a bit closer again and hook you over, with any luck that will make it clearer. And now I'm going to use my cotton bud and I'm going to press round the edges of the string and just move the foil so it's pushing right up against the bits of string that I have put on there from both sides. So I'm just pressing it all down and in now. And with any luck in a minute it will start to get clearer and clearer and clearer. Now this was where my leaf was, so my leaf's starting to come up. Don't press so hard that you rip the foil, and it's usually best to start from the middle and work outwards, pressing it down on the gluey surface. So you need to have glued all the surface, but I'd already done that before you start pressing it down. And what I'm going to do now is actually lift it off the tea towel, and I'm going to lay the tea towel on top of it, just one layer of it, and now I'm going to give it a really good rub to force all the foil down between the gaps where the string isn't. Now as I said, you could have stuck buttons on there in bits and pieces and you would have had all the markings of all of them. And all of this needed to be glued. I'm just going to rub it a bit more, but I don't want to rip the foil. Now there goes my leaf, and I can see that more clearly now. Okay, so that's going quite well. I'm now going to turn it over, and you can decide how much foil you want on the back. I think I'd like the back covered with foil. Of course you could do a second one on the back, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to cut this a little bit so I haven't got too much foil. So I've got maybe 3 or 4 fingers of this going all the way around, except one end I've got a little bit more so it'll cover right the way over. And I'm now going to put it back on my tea towel and just give it a bit more of a press that way, the other way up. Now if I glue the back, so I'm going to put a layer of glue now over the back. We had a layer of glue over the front. I haven't messed around with kids' glue like this for a long time. It's all good fun. Actually, I could have used the corrugated paper itself. I didn't think of that. That would have been a really good idea. If some of you got ideas, do put them up, because we've had some brilliant ideas. Jack the other day suggested the paper flowers we did were good if you put glue and glitter on the outside of them. Right, so now I'm going to fold this over and stick that down onto the glue. And now I need a bit more glue here. You could do your corners however you like, but I'm just going to do it very simply today. So I'm going to put some glue here now over that piece of foil, and now I can fold the sides in and stick them down and just tuck any extra bits under, because foil's very forgiving. Remember the other day we did little foil figures, so foil's very good. You can kind of bend it and squidge it and it tends to not show what you've done too much. Now I probably should have made this last bit a bit longer so it'd come up the whole length, but I've not, so we won't worry about that. And I'm going to put some more glue here like that, and then I'm going to fold my last section up, and now I've got a nice silver back. Now this would have looked better if I'd let that piece come all the way up to the top. My bit's missed a little bit, can you see? If I'd made it fold all the way up, so that was bad planning on my part. And if we look on this side, I'm going to give it a bit more of a rub now. You can start seeing our embossed picture. Now, obviously if you'd done 2 or 3 layers of string or something, it would have come up even clearer. And you can start seeing we've got this beautiful embossed picture. Now, I got the idea from this that I've got, which is a kit for embossing, but you can see some of these beautiful patterns here. So this is one way that you could do it, and you can make it really elaborate. You could stick it on the top of a box as a present. You could make it into a card again or anything. Something that does work usually quite well is to, once you've done that, take some dark paint. I've got a little bit of black paint here. I'm going to move my tea towel out of the way so I don't make too much of a mess. And I'm just going to put a little bit of this black onto this. And I'm afraid, oh, I could use this. I was going to be gross and use my fingers, but there we are. So I've done that. I've got a little bit of black paint on it. And if I rub it around onto this and rub it all the way over everything, and once I've rubbed it over everything like that, which looks pretty disgusting now. I think this is definitely the most disgusting messy lesson I've done of these. I think this is number 15 now. So if you have missed the others, please go back. There's no charge for these whatsoever. But if I now rub the excess off, and especially if you left it to dry a little bit longer, you can see it actually starts showing up the pattern even more. So what's happening is that you're rubbing clean the higher edges, and the lower edges are staying dirtier and darker. And if you'd let that actually sit there for a while and then polished it off, you would have actually had even more definition between the two bits. Now, you don't have to do that. This is just, you could do this. I'm actually going to do it this time with a cotton bud. That way I can deliberately rub the bits that are sticking up a bit, and that way I'm making the pattern become more defined and more clear. And I'm only rubbing the up bits with my cotton bud, and you can start seeing the flower materializing even more. So there's an idea. There is another way that you can do this. And now that I'm this messy, I'll just go and get myself a baby wipe for a second and use that to clean my hands up a bit. I tend to use baby wipes a lot. I'm going to have to find different things to use now that we know they've got plastic in, but I've bought all these years ago in bulk, so I also think I might as well use them up. So we're going to just clean me up so I'm not putting black everywhere. You could do that rubbing out process using old shoe polish as well. Now that might be a bit messy, and I definitely suggest you do it in the garden with a mum or dad helping you. And maybe let the whole thing dry a bit first, but they can look really spectacular. You could do it in different colours as well, all sorts of things. The other way of doing it is this. Now this might be a bit tricky with only foil, but we'll give it a go. So the idea then would be to place your piece of foil onto the tea towel, but place it face down so the shiny side is down. And then using the back end of a paintbrush, not a pencil because it's probably too pointy, you can actually draw very lightly, pressing down onto the soft tea towel. And I'm writing my name, which is going to, I'm afraid, come out all backwards, but that's probably going to be forwards to you because the camera on this is back to front at the moment. But I'm just writing Jeanni here, and I'm pressing down onto the tea towel, writing it, using the wrong end of my paintbrush. So there's the Jeanni. And then when I turn it over, you can see I've got my name that way without using the string. Now the problem is with that, you can do prettier patterns maybe because you're not having to fiddle with the string all the time, but on the other hand it disappears more easily as well. Right, so I'm going to turn you back round to my face now. So if you just give me a moment, and I'm going to turn you back round. So hello. Oh, nice to see you, Morwenna. And I can now see who's there. Oh, there's actually quite a few of you today. Oh, that's nice. If you could all be very, very kind and like and share this page, please, so more and more people get to hear about it. One of the lessons so far, I can't remember which one it was, has had over 4,000 views now, so that's really nice. And for anyone new who's just turned up, so after you've... anyone new who's just turned up, I also do full-on art classes, not like these little crafty things, which means that anybody can achieve that sort of improvement in 3 hours. I've worked with huge companies and individuals and people who've had strokes and all sorts of things. So those lessons are available, but they're paid ones. And this is an example of me doing distance teaching with a boy in London. So he's 13 and painted that of his dog at home, and I was obviously here. So if you've got any questions, do ask. Today we did this embossing idea where you're going to make a three-dimensional, slightly raised using foil. I've now let this one dry a fraction. And so if I now give it a bit of a wipe, with any luck, the picture will show up more and more. Now you might have to do it at your end to actually see, because this end it's quite hard. But can you see now with the addition of the little bits of black, it actually makes the picture stand out even more. So it looks like one of these beautiful old raised embossed pieces of silver or something almost. So today's ideas: either press onto your piece of foil where I wrote Jeanni, onto a tea towel, and just press in gently onto a tea towel from the back of the foil using a paintbrush or something, and just do it free like that. How we did it here, if anyone's just asking again, was we took a piece of cardboard, we then glued string into a pattern which we'd drawn on the cardboard, and then we put glue all over the cardboard and we stuck it to a shiny piece of foil, and then we folded all the foil closed on the back. And then you could make a little hole in it. You could make it almost like a key ring holder, or just the top of a little pretty box or something like that. So anyway, I think for today, I'm going to go in a minute out into my garden, and I'm guessing you guys will probably do the same. I will be here tomorrow. We're going to do something else. As I said, don't worry if you're new to this. Over the Christmas weekend, I'm deliberately doing slightly more fiddly things, because I'm assuming there are more adults and older teenagers or whatever around to help if anyone's got little fingers. So don't worry that it's all getting a bit more fiddly. Next week I'll probably go back to slightly simpler. Tomorrow we're going to do something really fun, very silly. You're going to need a pair of tights and a cool stamp. Yeah, it would make a cool stamp. You could then stamp things, paint it. That would work. Should we give that a go? That's a really good idea. Who's that? Nikki. Thank you, Nikki. Brilliant idea. I'm just going to put some paint on this one then, and I'll just see how that works. I hadn't actually thought of that. That's a cool idea. It's all right. I could put some paint on it. Let's hope I don't make too much of a mess. Brilliant idea. Here you are. Nikki, I need you. This is lesson 15 now, so if this is the first one you've watched, there are all sorts. There are ones with drawing, there are ones with sketching. They're all just little bits and bobs you're bound to have around your house. Today the glue, I'm guessing most of you will have it. So I've now put this down. I've painted the back like you suggested. I've put a piece of paper on top of it, and I'm just pressing off the wet paint. You can see my hand going at the bottom. Let's see what that looks like. Oh wow, oh groovy. Oh Nikki, you're very awesome. Great idea. I suppose if we took this further from young Jack the other day, we could actually, I don't know where my glitter's gone, but you could actually scatter glitter on it. And yesterday somebody suggested putting glue and glitter on the edge of the carnations we made yesterday with tissues. That's a really good idea, Nikki. I never thought of doing that with it. I've done printing before with children, but I've always done it a different way. But that's really quite cool. Oh, I like the second one even better. There you go. So brilliant. Right, Nikki, you're on board now. You have to join me. Thank you very much, and I think Jack as well with his glitter ideas of yesterday. All of you give me ideas. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please, please, please send me photos of what you've done, and also please like me on Facebook, Art Jeanni, and on Art at the Beach, which is my other Facebook for my shop. And have a look at both of them. And if you've really enjoyed it, please put something on my TripAdvisor, Art at the Beach Newquay, because it's nice to have things there for future people who might want to employ me to see what I get up to. But all of this is free. And I didn't say today, but the reason I'm doing it is it's my way of thanking the NHS. One of my children works for the NHS, and I'm so proud of the whole work that all of them are doing. And I think that the littlest thing, well, it's only a little thing as far as I'm concerned, but I think doing half an hour of entertainment for free for anyone at home is the least I can do. So thank you for watching. Please like and share it even now, and do tell your friends about me. I'm on at 2:30 every day. A list of equipment goes up the night before, and I do apologise, I forgot to put glue on it last night till the very last minute. So anyway, have fun, send me pictures, and enjoy Easter tomorrow. Okay, see you soon, and I'll put a list up tonight on Art Jeanni. Bye.